Mixtapes and Tasty Cakes podcast. I'm Bert Lepore. He's Samuel Monte Carlo. We're hanging here with Angry Mike D, and we talk about music, movies, and so much more.
Earth to Steve.
Listen, the only thing I can think of right now, whoever he's in the room with right now is dealing with him trying to figure this out. You know?
Yeah, right.
Dude, shit's being flung everywhere right now.
It's fucking great. Yeah.
Guarantee it.
Dogs are flying through the air. Glasses are breaking. You name it.
That sounds like a Lepore household.
Yeah, it's bad. You're gonna see the end of the. We're gonna finish up the video. Then Steve's gonna pop up like Spinal Tap at the end, like, "Hey, I'm here."
Right at the end.
Yeah, it'd be great. All right, guys, Mixtapes and Tasty Cakes. We're here with the Land of Oz band. We have Kevin on bass, Tom on drums. Kevin, who else is in your band?
We have Matt Stanley, the South Jersey's greatest guitar player, and his father, Mike Stanley, Mike Vivial on keys, and of course, last but not least, definitely not least, is Mr. Stephen J. Desco as Ozzy.
Yep, and Steve was supposed to join us, but he's having some technical difficulties. So if he pops up, he might pop up. You never know. We'll see what happens. Talking about the Stanley duo, is it Stanley or Staley? It's Staley, right?
Stanley,
like Paul
Stanley Steamer.
As in Paul.
Gotcha. As in like Paul Stanley. So now I know his dad was in Funhouse.
Correct.
Yeah, with our good buddy Mike, right. Jimmy Bush.
Jimmy.
Yeah. Jimmy.
Bushman.
Bushman.
Yeah. I used to open for them back then. I didn't know Mike. I kind of I was in a couple of bands used to play the Galaxy, and probably opened for Funhouse like maybe 3 or 4 times. And I had a friendship with Jimmy, but I didn't really talk to Mike back then. And then I ended up in this band with him, and he's like, "Yeah, I was in Funhouse." I'm like, "Dude, I probably opened for you like 4 or 5 times, but I don't remember really having a conversation with him." You know what I mean? Like we might have just said hi in passing, but it's just, small world.
Yeah. What band was it?
It was a band called Joyride.
Okay.
And it was kind of like a AC/DC Cinderella kind of heavy, hard screaming vocals sort of thing. And then I was in a band called Christine after that, nice. Which was like a kind of like a Kiss type of, not makeup or anything, but like a, like that sort of sound, And we did the Galaxy a few times there too. We were more of a cell block band, Cell Block, Bonnie's. We didn't do the Galaxy except for maybe a couple of times, but that was like 90, 91, 92, right around that time. Nice. So yeah, fun times. I can't believe it was freaking 35 years ago or 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Crazy, man. It's
how does it work with 2 guitar players doing Ozzy?
Well
with,
we try to sound more like the studio records, and if you listen to the studio records, you can hear there's a lot of overdubs. And if you listen to Ozzy live, you'll notice a big difference. Like the guitar, when Randy does a lead, like the bottom just drops out of it. Yeah. So by having 2 guitar players, it fills everything up, so we sound more like the record.
Right, more authentic. Yeah.
Nice. Are you guys playing anything off the new record or the newest record?
Yes, we are.
Straight to Hell.
Playing Straight to Hell.
Very nice. Fun song to play.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've only played it a couple times actually. We're going to be breaking it out at this show, so should be cool.
Nice. Yeah, I caught you guys a couple times. I caught you definitely last time you played the arena down here in South Philly, and it was a real good show. Real good show.
was a while ago. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I
right
remember.
before, I guess, before
That
COVID
was-
and all that stuff.
Wasn't that? Yeah, it was definitely before COVID. I think it was with Dernick's Queen band.
Yes, it
that
was.
night.
Yep. Yeah, it was a
Yeah.
double bubble
that
for
was-
me tonight. I get a chance to see both that night. So it was good.
That's cool.
Did the Alice Cooper band play that night too, Kevin? Or was that a different night?
No, it's a different night. We played with the Dernick's Queen Band twice there at the 2300.
Okay,
was
so I probably
I
seen
saw
them a
that.
couple times. Seen both
Yeah.
bands. Nice. Yeah. So you guys got, how long did you guys play, or will you be playing?
You broke up. I didn't catch that.
For the Landis
long's the set
Theater
usually?
gig? How long's the set?
We're doing 2 1-hour sets. So
Okay.
with a break in between.
Any opening band?
No.
Oh, nice. So it's just
Besides-
you guys.
Yeah. Besides whoever's up in the bar upstairs. You said it was Whiskey Grin and Dernick, Robin
30
Trower.
33 in it. Yeah, Robin Trower and another one of Dernick's album
Side projects.
tributes.
Yeah.
I wish I could remember.
33 and a third.
33 and a third. Yeah. Nice. Yeah.
They've
they're
done
both-
like Aerosmith.
Yeah, they've done
yeah.
Montrose. They've done a couple things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Queen thing being
He
the
does
big
some
one.
pretty-
Rocks. Yeah.
Well, yeah, the Queen thing, they were doing Bohemian Rhapsody and it turned into what it turned into, I guess.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I guess that became like separate from 33 and a third
Mhm.
just because, it was so good.
Yeah, it was
Right.
its own entity. Yeah, absolutely. All right, guys. So we got the band, The Land of Oz, February 5th at the Landis Theater, Vineland, New Jersey. So contact them online or on Facebook and stuff like that. Where can we get tickets at, Tom?
Landis's website is landistheater.com. If anybody is on our Facebook page, we're constantly putting ads for the show on there. So there's ticket links on our ads on our Facebook page. I think the actual website is e-tickets, but it's probably easier for people just to go to our Facebook page and just click on any of the event links that are on there. Or you can just try going directly to Landis Theater's website and you can buy tickets that way too. So, and of course, you can buy them that night too.
Cool.
So, yeah.
Yeah, it's a great place to see a show too.
Yeah,
Great
Dame, you
thing.
said it's all brand new looking, right?
Everything. Yeah, it's you're not going to like some grungy bar. I mean, it's really nice,
spot.
really nice theater. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, we're
Very
looking
cool.
forward to it. Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, I seen the band before. Steve does an excellent job of doing Ozzy. He does an excellent job. Looks like him, makes the movements,
Yep.
and Steve's got a personality that's pretty big himself, so he's fun. Like I said, I wish we had him on here. We did have him on here before, but Steve's he's a ball of fire. He's fun. So yeah, definitely go check them out. The band's great. A lot of great players in that band. Always great players in that band. And Steve is an awesome Ozzy. So talking about Ozzy, we're going to go into the Ozzy years. Black Sabbath, 9 records. We're going to rank them. Here we go. We're going to start off with number 9. Technical Ecstasy, 1976. What's your thoughts on it, Kev? We're going to go to you first.
Well, I'm going to preface every statement by saying I'm not the biggest Sabbath fan. I'm the casual user. Technical Ecstasy doesn't do anything for me, which is why I put it all the way down the bottom. I mean, there's not a single song in there that I even am familiar with. I'm just like, I listened to it once. I'm like, this is this is at the tail end of their druggy phase, I guess, where they stop being creative or whatever, but it just does nothing for me.
Right. How about you, Tom?
I, like Kevin, I'm probably a little more into Sabbath than he is, but I'm not the aficionado. But they're one of those bands that I grew up, dabbling in as a kid, but I didn't like beat the shit out of the records as a kid. I kind of got into them a little bit more as I got older. And I always had albums from them, like a couple of records here and there and stuff like that. But I really did deep dives on them as I became a teenager and really started going back. But for Technical Ecstasy, I mean, on my personal list, I had that at like number 7, and out of the 9, because for the only reason really is when you got albums like Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath, and Paranoid, Master of Reality. I mean, no matter what you think of Technical Ecstasy, you're stacking it up against those records.
Not fair. Yeah.
It's not fair. I mean, so it's gonna naturally come, and there's only 9 albums, so it's gonna be at the bottom of the list. But there's a lot of songs in there I actually like. I mean, I like Backstreet Kids, Rock and Roll Doctor. I always liked. There was that one song, all moving parts and stand still. It's kind of got like a purple.
That's
sort of
the
vibe
coolest
to it.
one, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, it's got like a deep purple kind of groove going on in there, and I feel like, even though that's an album that was kind of the beginning of, like, I guess you could say, the decline before, Never Say Die, and then it was over. But I think it's an underrated record. I mean, I think Never Say Die is too. Well, we'll get to that later. But like, it's not a super strong record, but I don't think it sucks. You know what I mean? I just think when you're comparing it to, like I said, the other stuff, it's not gonna hold up as well. But I feel like it's a little overlooked.
Yep. Damo.
Yeah, I guess it was like the beginning of, the end of the band, I guess, if you want to call it that. But but it was definitely different than the previous records. I mean, were they going to keep on trying to record the same album? I guess they were just trying to do something different, but it's probably my least favorite one. But yeah, there's some decent ones. I like Rock and Roll Doctor, Dirty Women, Backstreet Kids was pretty cool, but yeah, it's just kind of like not really pay too much attention to it,
Yep. Mike D.
Yeah, now I never really got into Sabbath when I was younger, so kind of just getting into them and listening to them like as a whole right now, kind of it was kind of cool. But I don't know. I really didn't hate the album, but it was probably my least favorite.
Yep. For me, it's better than I remembered it going back to it now. But like Tom said, you're stacking it up against stuff that it just can't compare to. And it was the end. Ozzy was almost gone by then. I guess it was like 78, so music changed a little bit. It wasn't as dark as the earlier stuff. Tony's riffs are always great. Every record, no matter what. The whole band, they're great musically. Bill Ward singing lead on that song "It's All Right," which isn't a bad song. Bill's got a good voice. A little hippy dippy for
I'm
me.
going to tell you what it sounds. It sounds like a Bad Kiss song.
It sounds like a bad Kiss song. Yeah, like a B-side or something. Yeah, All Moving Parts, great song. Probably my favorite song on the record, like I said before. Not really a fan of mostly just because it don't sound as Sabbathy as the other Sabbath records, but not a bad record.
Exactly.
Just the bottom of the pile for me. If that was somebody else's, if that was a different band doing that, I might think it was a great record. It's like when we did Metallica before, it's like, it's hard to judge. Even their great stuff or good stuff is compared to their great stuff. It's hard. It's hard to compare. It really is. All right, guys, we're going to move on to number 8. Never Say Die came out in 1978. Kev, what you got?
Aside from the title track, it's pretty much very similar to Technical Ecstasy for me. It just nothing else really moves me. I do love Never Say Die, though. I think it's actually one of their better songs.
Cool. Tom?
I agree. For me, like Technical Ecstasy and Never Say Die are kind of like neck and neck for which ones are going to be towards the bottom of the list, unfortunately, but not for me, not really, because again, I don't think it sucks. I think there's just a couple of okay songs on it, but the title track is great. Hard Road, I like a lot. I like Johnny Blade. I'm trying to think, Shockwave, like, again, it's not one of those albums that I've revisited a whole lot, but like, even just in preparation for this, I went back and listened to the stuff again, and I'm like, yeah, I mean, the sonics of it are good, but you can tell, for me at least anyway, it seems to me like they were starting to move into a more experimental or like melodic vein, like shorter songs, not like doomy, heavy, dark.
Right.
It was a little more melody, and it's almost like it feels like it was them transitioning into what they eventually did with like Heaven and Hell, but like with not as good, the songs weren't as good. Like Heaven and Hell is freaking brilliant.
Yeah.
So, but you can see they were moving away from the doom rock and the doom like metal heavy, grungy stuff and kind of moving a little bit more towards, I don't know if it's an accessible sound, but just a little more melody and
A
some a
little
little more
commercial, maybe with the change.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, a little more
Yeah.
radio.
Yeah, but the band was falling apart at the time too. So I feel like it's another album that kind of has a bad rap because it's just considered like their last gasp of air before they went on that tour where Van Halen freaking blew them away every night.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And then it was over.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
That was like the final nail in that, that era.
Well,
in their
who the
coffin.
hell can follow Van Halen up
Yeah.
on the freaking first album? I mean, that's,
Yeah, really.
I mean, I wouldn't want to be anybody going on stage after that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sabbath was tired by then, and Van Halen was hungry, pretty much. That's
Oh yeah,
Complete opposite. Yeah.
take no
Yep.
prisoners.
Yep, exactly. Damo, what you got?
Yeah, I pretty much agree with Kevin on this one too. Like, I think the song "Never Say Die" is probably one of my favorite Sabbath songs. It's just a killer tune, but the rest of the album doesn't really do anything for me.
Yep, Mike D.
Yeah, same as the previous one for me. A couple songs, "Never Say Die" was really good. I like Johnny Blade, that was good, but not much more memorable.
Yeah, I'm
I
agreeing.
didn't again like it's. I'm not saying I hated it, but it just wasn't
Right. It's not the Sabbath I
like-
know.
right.
It just goes the same way. It's like you said, they could be, well, I guess they are sister albums, Never Say Die and Technical Ecstasy. Yeah, I mean, it's a huge departure, I think, still. But I mean, they go for different shit, which, their use of pianos in them last two songs were kind of neat. I mean, they've tickled around with shit like that before. But yeah, same thing here. It's just not as good as the rest. All right, guys, moving on to number 7. The album 13. This is when they reunited and they did a studio record. What do you got there, Kev?
I actually had it higher up on the list. I like it. I think that it's got the old doomy Sabbath sound to it with a modern production.
Mhm.
It just kind of, I think it was like a fitting end of the band. Really, they go back to their roots, with today's sound. It just, it's got some really good songs. God is Dead. It's
That's
just
a
a
great song.
great
Yeah.
monster song. And what's the other one? End of the Beginning, another great one. I just, I was impressed with it.
Yep. How
I
about you,
think I
Tom?
had that at
Oh,
I had that at 6. Actually.
Yeah, you had it pretty high up there. Tom, what do you got on this one?
I had it actually last, and again, not because I think it sucked. It was just for me. I'm all about the classic era and the classic sound and the production values of like the 70s stuff. So even though like when I heard 13, I was like, yeah, there's some pretty killer riffs on there and stuff like that. Some of it to me kind of sounded like Ozzy solo material, but done with like Iommi's riffing on it. I was disappointed that Bill Ward wasn't on it. Not just because I would like to have had a classic lineup album. Kind of like what happened with Psycho Circus and Kiss, where it ended up not even being Peter Criss and Ace Frehley on the record.
Yeah.
I was anticipating, and then I was like, come on. But 13, I think there's some good stuff on there. I liked God is Dead. I'm trying to think. Loner, Age of Reason, Live Forever kind of had like a Sado kind of vibe to it. From Diary of a Madman, same kind of drum pattern and stuff like that. So again, it just it didn't knock me out, but I don't think it was bad. It just was kind of okay. It's a Sabbath album, but it's again, you're up against classic stuff, and it's it is what it is. So
Yep. Damo.
This is my least favorite one, man. I couldn't get into it when it came out, and this week I was listening to it. It's just really boring album. I mean, and I get Ozzy's a lot older now, and his voice isn't what it used to be, but he doesn't really sound that great on this. His voice is like a lower register, and one of the things I liked about Sabbath was like you know, the songs were, you know, real doomy, evil sounding, great riffs, and Ozzy had that, you know, screeching high kind of whiny voice that kind of like pierced through everything. This, like, the music was fine, but like to get the excitement with Ozzy's old voice, it wasn't there. I mean, and like the producer who did the new Ozzy record, his solo record, I mean, Ozzy sounds great on that. You know, his voice sounds a bit higher and everything, like kind of like old school Ozzy. So he got it out of him for that, but Rick Rubin didn't on this one. It's just hard for me to really to listen to it, you know.
Mike Dig.
Yeah, not very memorable for me. Say, I mean, I'm going to say, first of all, I think the tracks are a bit too long on this. I mean, you're starting off with like 8 minutes, and you got a couple fours, a 7 minute, 4, 7, 7. I don't know. Like, I used to like long songs, but you know, you can't have too many of them on the album. You know, it's just way too many right there.
Unless you're Iron
So it's
Maiden,
like I kind of lost it. Yeah, but
Or Rush.
even them at this point, or Rush, yeah. But like we're talking classic stuff, but I think, I don't know, like now it's kind of rough to do like an 8-minute song. Like, I don't know, unless you have the material for it just doesn't cut it.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I'm
sorry. I didn't hate the album. It just kind of sounded like a lost Ozzy album.
That's a good point. That's good. You and Tom both made that point, and I agree with both of these. It sounds more like an Ozzy solo record than Sabbath. Well, maybe that's not fair to say either. Vocally, it sounds like an Ozzy solo record. Right. Musically, they're pulling out all the Sabbath tricks. That's for sure. I mean, you can listen to them songs and you could hear, oh, this reminds me of the song Black Sabbath, or this reminds me of, you know.
Yeah, right.
First track.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. I think Rick Rubin does what he does. You know, hey guys, you got to get your old sound back, and then they get the old sound back, and that's what Rick Rubin does. You know, I don't know how much he does of it, but I guess it's a suggestion because he did it with Metallica also. It's good for what it is. It's a little sleepy. I mean, it is doomy, but it's a little sleepy vocally. You know, it's good. Don't get me wrong. The songs are all good. All the songs are good. That I never say this name right. Zeitgeist. I never say that name right.
Zeitgeist.
Yeah, that's Zeitgeist. The word. Yeah, I like that song a lot. Loner's more of a rock song, like a rock and roll song. God is Dead is probably my favorite song off there. It's just the words. It's just fucking great. But it's not that it's a bad record. It's just trying to get that old vibe, and you missed the mark probably with that higher register voice, maybe, like Dame said. And but it was nice. Mike actually mentioned this to me the other day. It's nice to hear a Sabbath record with great production, though. I mean, because you could really hear the clean, you know,
clean.
It's clean. Yeah. It's clean.
Well,
like imagine if they got that 70 sound, but clean, you know.
I actually like the production of Never Say Die and Technical Ecstasy. I like the sound of those.
Yeah,
you know,
it's analog.
But like they sounded way better than the you know, the ones from a couple years prior. You know, but the songs just weren't there.
Yep. So guys,
they were too happy, bubbly sounding.
Yeah, a little hippy dippy. Definitely a little hippy dippy. All right, guys, here comes all the good shit. Number 6, Sabotage, released in 1975. What do you got, Kev?
I had it higher on the list, actually.
Me too.
I mean, you got Symptom of the Universe. Great song. Hole in the Sky. Really good. Yeah, I'd rank it higher than some of the other stuff. But aside from a couple of those, not a whole lot, I guess. So, you know, middle of the pack.
Tom?
I actually had it as number 2 on my list. Wow. But again, the list is subject to change depending on my mood, because
absolutely.
Sometimes I'm just like, it's like with any of my favorite bands. Sometimes I'm just like, oh, that, you know, it really just depends on that day, you know? And I guess the day that I was compiling this list, I was like, you know what? Sabotage, man, like Hole in the Sky and The Writ and Megalomania, Symptom of the Universe. Like there was a little bit of a proggy edge to this record, you know, a little bit more experimental, very dark. But, you know, there's something special about that record. And even just for me, Hole in the Sky, that's in my top 5 Sabbath songs.
I agree with that.
I mean, that alone elevates it. You know what I mean? But
oh, damn, I forgot about Hole in the Sky.
That's a great song.
That's a killer tune.
That's I want Land of Oz to do that song.
You got to push.
I'm like, come on, let's do it.
Push it.
Convincing everybody else is like, I know Steve would do it. But,
Oh yeah, he definitely do it.
Yeah,
I would love to hear that. That would be freaking cool, man. Damo,
yeah, definitely.
what you got, Damo?
Yeah, I think I revised my list like 3 or 4 times before I sent it to you. I think, every time I had it in the top 3, even at number 1 at one time. And then, after looking at some of the songs, I dropped it down to like 5. But Hole in the Sky is probably my favorite Sabbath tune. And you know what? I actually really like Am I Going Insane? It's just kind of like weird and everything. I could picture it like if they did a video, it'd be like in a carnival or something.
That bass line.
Like that. It's a cool tune, but yeah, I love this record.
Yep. Mike D.
I think what the hell did I have this? I think I originally had it at 1, then I think I dropped to 2, and then I might have put it
I think 4 or 5.
3.
You mean you had the same spot? 4 or 5 it was. It was 4, and it's great.
And I think right, and I really wanted to put it higher, but yeah, man. I mean, my favorite track off of this, and it's crazy because it's the instrumental one. I love the Superstar.
That's a great song. Yeah, it's great. It's so weird.
And I'm not an instrumental guy. It's just really, I think it's just really cool.
Yeah, it's a good one.
There's
man.
some good instrumental. There's good instrumental stuff on like a lot of their records.
Yeah,
yeah.
Even the mellow stuff, like Fluff, and what's it, Laguna Sunrise, I think is on the Vive. It's just Iommi just doing his thing, and it's like it almost shows like a more mellow side to that I'm just not going to be the riff meister. I can just do this other stuff too.
Right.
Like
he's not a one-trick pony.
Yeah. It's some of that instrumental stuff's amazing, especially when we get to Master Reality. It's like, oh my God, some of that stuff is just so good. For me, opening track is probably one of the best opening tracks ever, Hole in the Sky. It's so good. Symptom of the Universe, Megalomania is so trippy, it's so damn cool. And then you got the the super bizarre and stuff like that. It gets bizarre, but it's cool, like a cool bizarre. I love this record. I really do. And like same thing. It's just when you have so many good albums or so much good material, it's so hard to, like you said, depends what day, right, Tom? Depends what day that you feel, because this is stellar record. It's by no means middle of the pack. It's better than middle of the pack, But there's so much good stuff, man. The only weird thing with this record is that album cover with them red fucking pants. It's fucking brilliant.
Oh my God.
Kind of reminds you of Weird Al Yankovic for some reason there.
I don't know
when he shaved.
I don't know.
It's like a bad
story.
heavy metal Peter Pan nightmare.
Yeah, it's fucking weird. I think there was a story in one of the books that said that he borrowed somebody's girlfriend's pants or something. That's what he's wearing, or something like that. I read.
Oh yeah.
But it's something
something like that.
What the fuck were you thinking?
They were probably so freaking high. I mean, like, who the hell knows?
I didn't even know. Yeah.
Take a bloody picture.
Crazy, man. But all in all, Sabotage is a must-have. It's a great record. Moving on to number 5, Volume 4 came out in 1972. What you got, Kev?
Yeah, I like it. It's up there. Tomorrow's Dream, Snowblind, sure. Yeah. I mean, it's a classic for sure.
Absolutely. Tom?
Same here. It was number 3 on my list. And same thing. Wheels of Confusion, Supernaut, Snowblind, Even Changes, classic song. The only thing about that record is I feel like if it had the production values of like Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath, a little cleaner, some of it is very hit or miss. Like just sonically, the way the production is, the mix. Some of it sounds very garagey and like muddy, and then the next song is like clean, so it's kind of like all over the place. I feel like they recorded it in a bunch of different studios. I mean, I never actually looked to see if they did, but
Record Plant, LA.
Is it all done at the Record Plant?
Wow.
Really? Probably different days, maybe different drugs on different days. I don't know.
Yeah, probably.
And not even the band, maybe the engineer. I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know, but I think that's a great record. I mean, that's, again, it comes back to when you have to rearrange the top 6 or 7 of these albums. What do you put in the middle? What do you put at the top?
Yeah, it could go anywhere. Yeah.
They're interchangeable. Yeah.
Yep. Damo, what you got?
Yeah, I had this number 3 too. Just a killer record with a lot of killer riffs. I actually love Cornucopia. I mean, Snowblind, Supernaut. Just great, like riff oriented record. I love it.
Mike D.
Yeah, and then smack right in the middle, you have Changes, which is just an awesome song.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like you wouldn't even know it's that.
Right.
Yeah.
Like that song probably should have been huge.
It was a hit for Ozzy. Remember, he did it on.
It is
on the,
now.
It is
Well,
now,
yeah, it is now, but back then
it should have been.
Yeah, Ozzy released it as a single when he did Live and Loud record. I mean, that was a hit on MTV, the live version of it.
Yeah.
Back in like 92 or 93.
But you're right.
There's a dude that just redid it too. His name's Charles Barkley. Is it? It's like the basketball player. I think it's Charles Barkley.
Gnarls Barkley?
Gnarls
Barkley.
No, not him. No. This dude just passed away not that long ago. XPN plays him a lot. Black dude, like soul singer, like he was a James Brown impersonator back in the day, and he started doing his own stuff. Is it? Oh man, what is it? I thought it was Charles. That was Charles Barkley. I think that's his name. You guys can look it up. It's on YouTube, but it's like a real like R&B kind of but like old school. Like it sounds like something from the 70s. It was like on Motown.
Charles Barkley. Charles Bradley. Charles
Bradley.
Yeah.
Just
looked it up.
Yeah, that's really good. That's when he kind of had a little indie radio hit with that because it was played a lot. It was played a lot on XPN. I remember. Like
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, 2013.
Yeah, man. Mike, any more thoughts on Volume 4?
No, I mean it was pretty much said.
For me, Volume 4, a lot of catchy riffs. Changes is on it. It's definitely a solid record, man. Definitely the first 3 songs, man, are just fucking great. Yeah, it could, like I said, it could be interchangeable, man. Volume 4 comes at number 5, but pretty damn good record. All right, guys, moving on to number 4. Black Sabbath came out in 1970, where it all started. Kev, what you got?
I actually had that as my number 1. I had another one that I couldn't decide between the first album and the other one, but I kind of gave it the nudge just because of the song Black Sabbath alone. I mean, the first time I ever heard that, I was a kid and it just kind of scared the fuck out of me.
Absolutely.
It was just so creepy sounding. I'm like, it gave you the feeling like, wow, this is like satanic. I shouldn't be listening to this.
Yeah.
It's cool. I got to listen to more. So it's weird because like when Sabbath came out, it wasn't really on my radar. I grew up in upstate New York, so there wasn't a whole lot of Sabbath fans. The only thing you ever heard was like Paranoid or Iron Man. And at that point, when you started getting into music, like they were kind of like dinosaurs at that point. But when Ozzy came out with that Speak of the Devil with all those Sabbath songs, some of those songs like that's the first time I ever heard the song Black Sabbath. On Speak of the Devil. So I had to go back and listen to all the other stuff because all the stuff on that album was really cool. So, but yeah, I'd never even heard that until I heard Speak of the Devil. But, Black Sabbath definitely is like one of my favorite Sabbath songs. Some people think it drags, but I just think it's creepy.
Yeah.
You got that, and you got The Wizard, and my personal favorite because of the bass, NIB, of course.
Another great track. Love that.
NIB is like a staple of the Land of Oz show too. So I don't think we've ever played a show without it. So
nice. Tom?
Not since you've been in the band. We've done it. We added it, I think, about a year or two into our existence. We started doing NIB, and I think it's pretty much stayed ever since in the show. But Kevin just touched on all the key tracks. The title track, Wizard, Behind the Wall Sleep, the creepy album cover, which as a kid, whenever I saw it, was like, just really eerie and scary and kind of looks like The Exorcist or something, with the witch looking lady. But sonically, it's I guess for the time, was that 69 or 70? Is that
70?
I think 70.
February.
Yeah, you got to really put things into perspective too. When that came out, there was really nothing that sounded like that.
Right.
I mean, it was just this, dark, evil, heavy, just something completely not like anything else that was around at the time. So I think that it deserves credit for just being kind of innovative, for the time. And I think they recorded it. Did they record it all like in one day? It was like 48 hours or something.
It might have been, yeah.
Yeah, like really quick, and just banged it out. But, I guess you could argue that was the beginnings, or at least sort of towards the beginning of what would be considered heavy metal, unless you're talking about Blue Cheer, and some people will say Hendrix and the Who with the distortion and that sort of thing, kind of eventually. But Sabbath, I think, was really that album was really the first band, I think, to take all that distorted guitar and put some evil overtones to it and darkness, and just take it to another level, which I'm influenced everybody after that.
Yep.
So
absolutely. Damo.
Yeah, it was recorded in 12 hours, the session.
12 hours.
12 hours.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Wow.
But yeah, this is like the first, this is heavy metal.
Yeah.
Record. Like this is, and I was going to put it higher just for that reason, because it was so, innovative. It was a game changer. But yeah, I mean, the title track, Black Sabbath, this song is so fucking scary, man. Evil Woman I like, and The Wizard is cool. NIB, it's just, it's a classic,
Mike D.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm with Damien on this one. I think the standout track for me is probably The Wizard, although Black Sabbath comes up close behind. And another thing, usually bands that put out tracks with their name in it, they usually suck.
Usually, yeah.
This is one that doesn't. Yeah. I would say them and Iron Maiden probably are the exception with that. I can't think of any other off the top of my head.
Maybe Motorhead.
What was it?
We'll give Motorhead a nod.
Okay, Motorhead. Yep. Forgot about that.
That's another show. Bands with song titles with their name. We did it the top 10 or whatever.
All right, Damien, Love Theme from Kiss.
Oh, no thanks.
I'm like, this doesn't sound like a love theme, but okay. All right.
Mike, I thought you hit it on the head, man. Definitely. But yeah, I mean, it's that first track is like, especially like Kev said, when you're young and you hear that, you're like even I mentioned 1,000 times probably on the show, like the first time, because I backtrack. I probably heard Ozzy first and then went back, for my age.
Oh yeah, same here.
So be like, oh, that Ozzy's this, that Ozzy's that. You're like, oh, you're scared to listen. You put on Diary of a Madman and you're like, what the fuck? It's fucking. It sets the tone, And Black Sabbath definitely had that. Man, yeah, a lot of great songs on this, and it's weird because it's only labeled as like 5 tracks, but you have 2 songs that have like 3 or 4 tracks in them.
Yeah.
So it's
that was like
neat.
the North American edition, I think, too.
It's weird.
We got ripped off over here somehow.
But like even like NIB comes after other little pieces in the song, but of course they just cut it just to NIB itself. But it's a great song. It definitely was the start of it all. And fuck that opening riff of Black Sabbath itself. It's like like Kev said, some people might find it a little boring and draggy, but guess what? To me, that sets the mood. It totally sets the mood. All right, guys.
Scariest 3 notes in rock.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Definitely, man. All right, guys. Moving on to number 3. Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath, out in 73. What you got, Kev?
I had that way lower on my list. It's just not one of my favorites. It's kind of like Never Say Die. The title track is great. The rest of the album really doesn't do a whole lot for me personally. I'm obviously you guys rated it higher. I'm just not a big fan of that particular album, but I do like Sabbath Bloody. I think that's the highest I've ever heard Ozzy sing, period.
It's high. Yeah, it's high, man.
I wonder if Steve could sing that high.
You have to make me
He
try.
said he said he's done this, and he's done Hole in the Sky with I think Just Sabbath when he's done gigs with them, or maybe it's just a rehearsal.
That's real high.
Yeah,
That's right. I did see him in his Just Sabbath band on Thanksgiving Eve, and he did it. And I think I tore him a new asshole because like he was hitting the notes, and I'm like, how come you can hit the notes on that, but you got problems in the Dio bands hitting notes on this and that and the other thing? You know, I'm like stressing him down for that. I'm like, I know you can sing that high, motherfucker. So, but yeah, he can do it.
Tom, what you got on
shit.
Sabbath Bloody Sabbath? This might have been your number one, huh?
It was my
your
number one.
Yeah.
And I just feel like they took a pretty big leap forward sonically on this record. When you listen to like Volume 4 and then you listen to this, the clarity, the production, the mix, the songs got a lot more concise and melodic. The title track, obviously classic, but Killing Yourself to Live, Looking for Today, Spiral Architect. I just feel like there's just great songs on that record. And it was kind of like the next step leading towards like what was like Sabotage. You know what I mean? It just kind of like was a progression. Some might say it was a regression because most people would prefer the heavier stuff. But well, Paranoid, actually, was Paranoid the record before this, or was it Volume 4? That was Volume 4.
Yeah.
So yeah, there was a big leap to me in just overall sonics and just, you know, the songwriting, and any album that has Rick Wakeman playing keyboards on it gets 2 thumbs up.
That's
for me.
true. Yeah.
So,
Yeah, he's on that.
Yeah.
Yep. Damo, what you got?
Yeah, I had this number 6. But yeah, I mean, we've all said it. I mean, the first 6 records, I mean, you could probably put them anywhere. It all depends on your mood that day. But yeah, I mean, the title track is great. I actually really love the album cover. It's probably my favorite Sabbath album.
Crazy.
Cover.
It looks like a B movie.
It's so
crazy.
Dude, it's so wicked looking, you know, 666 in there, and it's just creepy.
It screams
But,
by me now. You know?
Yeah. Right.
Especially if you were like an 8-year-old and you're like,
yeah.
Dad, I want this record.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Well, I was a weird 8-year-old, so I
Mike D, what you got on Sabbath Bloody Sabbath?
I actually juggled this one at number 1, I think, at one point. And I think to me is the keyboards and all the synths and stuff in this one got me. So it was, I don't know. It's like it's just at any given time, you know, it's like tomorrow, another one of the albums could be my favorite, but it's so tough at this point.
Yeah. You were saying that to me the other day. You were saying like, how do you fucking choose? You know, how do you choose?
Yeah.
You're like,
it's hard.
This is one of the hardest ones we did, probably. Definitely. Yeah, for me, the opening track is a true classic. I absolutely love the melody line in National Acrobat. It's so good. It's so good. Fluff is real cool. I thought that was pretty neat. Ton of good riffs. You know, all the songs are good. There might be like 1 or 2 songs that I think are okay, but the rest of it's pretty friggin' solid, man. And the album cover, Dame, like you said, it screams by me. How could you not have that record just for the album cover, you know? All right, guys, moving on to number 2, Master Reality, released in 1971. What you got, Kev?
Master of Reality is another classic. I mean, you got Children of the Grave, you got Sweet Leaf, you got Into the Void. I didn't have it as high as number 2. I had it a little further down the list, but yeah, it's up there. Yeah, I like the doomier stuff that Sabbath put out. So yeah, it worked for me.
Tom?
I had it at number 4 on my list. All the key tracks that Kevin just mentioned, of course, Children of the Grave, Sweet Leaf, Into the Void, and also After Forever. I don't know. That's another record that I think has a good, clean sound to it for the most part versus some of the other stuff. Like it's hit or miss with them, you know, like some tracks a little muddy, some tracks are clean. I feel that record stands up today, especially when you listen to the remasters and like how they cleaned a lot of stuff up. But that's just, again, you know, for the 1,000th time, like how do you it's like picking your favorite kid, you know, like there's like 4 or 5 great albums throw them all write them all on a piece of paper, throw them in the air, and whatever order they land on the floor.
Yeah.
So that's what the order is today, you know. But yeah, great album, classic, you know.
Damo.
I had this at number 2 on my list. My mom and dad had this record in their record collection, vinyl. When I was a little kid, I remember always seeing it. And you know, I kind of discovered it later, but almost every tune on this is great. My favorite is After Forever. I really like that one. I mean, Children of Grave is probably the heaviest tune that, you know, anyone's done at that point, you know. But yeah, it's great. Lord of this World, Into the Void, just great riffs, man.
Mike D.
Yeah, I mean, another tough one. I think I have this at number 3, and it could have easily been number 1. Sweet Leaf is probably my standout track on this one.
Yeah, for me, this is my number 1 Sabbath record. Absolutely, it's my favorite. Man, I don't know. It's just so good for me. Like, I love it. It's a perfect record for me. Sweet Leaf, After Forever, even the, you know, Orchid and Embryo and little instrumental parts. Yeah. Solitude, what a great melody line. Like, first of all, did anybody think it was Ozzy? Because I didn't think it was Ozzy when I heard it. It was crazy. I was like, wow, what is this? You know? Lord of this World, one of my favorite guitar riffs ever. I mean, it's just such a great record. It's definitely my favorite Sabbath record. Okay, guys, moving on to number 1, 1970, Paranoid. What you got, Kev?
All right, so Paranoid I had at number 2, but it could have easily been number 1. I had a tough time trying to decide which was better. As far as I'm concerned, that one and Black Sabbath, either or could be number 1. I mean, you know, what can I say? I mean, everybody else picked the number 1, I'm sure. So you got Paranoid and Iron Man. They're 2 biggest hits of all time, you know, so you can't say no to that. It's just, you got Electric Funeral, Fairies Wear Boots, all good shit.
Yep.
Dumb album cover, but still.
Yeah, weird album cover.
The album cover was actually a mistake, but
it was supposed to be called War Pigs, right? Something like that.
I'm not sure. I think somebody made a mistake and they just put it out anyway. From what I recall, I don't remember. I remember reading about it, but I remember the band was really disappointed when they saw the cover, and I was like, "What? What's this?"
It is bad. What do you got, Tom?
That was my number 4, but again, could have been 2, 3, 1 at any given time. Same thing Kevin said, all the classic tracks. And then you got Hand of Doom, and then you got the one with Bill Ward's Rat Salad with Bill Ward's drum solo on it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's filled with classic Sabbath standards. I mean, it's how can you go wrong with it? And so I'm in agreement. I mean, don't have any argument with it being a number 1 overall at all. You know what I mean? You can't go wrong with it. So,
Damo, you had this at 1.
Yeah, I had this at 1 too, and I didn't want to put it at 1 because I try to stay away from. I try to stay away from the popular stuff as like
exactly.
Ones, but you know what? But after looking at every song, it's like, man, every song is great. This is actually the first album I ever bought with my own money because back in the 80s there was I was big into wrestling, and the Road Warriors used to come out to Iron Man, and I was like, whoa, man, who does that song? And my buddy says, oh, that's Black Sabbath, Iron Man. So I went to a record store and I bought the album just for that.
Nice.
And that's how I got into it. But yeah, I mean, the first band I ever played in, we used to do Electric Funeral just because it was so easy, you know, for the guitar player to play. We were all starting out, you know, like 13, 14. So we used to play that all the time, you know, that song. But the album is great. I mean, I like playing a Caravan. It's really cool.
It's different. Yeah.
Kind of like, underrated track. Yeah. Rat Salad is great. Fairies Wear Boots. I mean, the whole album is great. There's a reason why it's probably one of the greatest metal albums of all time. But yeah, the album cover is kind of shitty. It's weird.
Yeah, it's like some weird weird cosplay, like freaking
Samurai with
what's the
What does it have to do with Paranoid anyway?
Yeah,
right.
like a medieval times like brochure outtake or something.
Yeah. It was
Yeah,
like a
with
bad
like-
outfit too. It was a bad outfit. It don't even look
Well,
like
it's like
it's fucked up.
Yeah,
yeah, it's like a medieval guy wearing like a motorcycle helmet or something, blurred, all blurred out, right?
It looks like the
can't
drunk
even make
down the
it.
street. They just picked up some drunk down the street. Here, hold these two things.
Right. Yeah, I like to know the story behind that. It's pretty interesting. It's got to be pretty interesting. I'm
Gotta
sure,
be
but-
fucking.
Well, we had a $50 budget for the artwork, so you know that's what you get.
we grabbed Bill Ward's uncle, made him dress up and just take a picture of him.
Right. You know what's really interesting? Just like looking at like when they released these records. I mean, they all came out like really, really close. I mean, this Paranoid came out the same year as the first Sabbath album.
Yeah,
It was recorded 6 months, or not even like 5 months after the first album, and then so this one's released in September 1978, and then in February they're in the studio doing Master Reality.
That's crazy.
It's
That's what they used to do
It's
back
crazy
then.
when you really. I know it's nuts when you think about that. Like a lot of bands used to do that. Like
Well,
2
Kiss, it was
albums a
2
year.
albums a year for a while, wasn't it?
yeah.
Yeah,
Crazy.
Yep, they would tour it right back into the studio, write new songs
back
for
at
2
it.
weeks and then right back in. And
Yeah.
Aerosmith. I mean, a lot of the '70s
album a year.
bands.
yeah,
Yeah, or it was either every 6 months or like every 8 or 10 months, and then next
Yep.
thing
Right.
you know, tour album. And what's crazy about that, if you think about it, is the quality
I know.
of the
It's
song.
amazing.
Like that they were just able to like shit out like at will. It's just like, all right, here's another classic album. Here's another classic
Yeah.
album. Like
Right.
just pulling it out of their ass and consistent, like I mean these like when you look at the 70s output of all these classic bands that we're talking about, whether it's Van Halen, Kiss, AC/DC, Aerosmith,
Mhm.
Cheap Trick, all these, whoever it is, the Stones, for like the first half at least, like just nonstop, bam, bam, bam,
Yep.
and it's considered their classic period. Deep
Right.
Purple, you know what I mean? Like just a string of like 5, 6, 7 records.
Right,
in a
yeah.
row.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
It is amazing.
I mean,
Definitely.
they would go maybe like 7, 8 years before they actually like hit a wall and would release a stinker or something.
Yeah.
But-
Until
Yeah.
they came back with their best albums of all time, which would be the Dio albums, of course. So, and Tom and I will agree on this too.
Oh, Heaven and Hell modules.
Oh, yeah.
That's,
Overall.
Yeah.
I'll even go with the third one.
The
Humanizer?
Humanizer?
Born again.
That would Ozzy would be the
One, two,
Humanizer.
three.
Yep.
I wasn't crazy about Dehumanizer when it came out, but
It was
because
on.
again, what's that?
Yeah, it grows on you though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to revisit it because to me, Heaven and Hell and Mob Rules are like this monolith of like anything else. How do you compete against it? They're just two rock solid records from start to finish, But
The real 1 and 2.
the real 1 and 2. Oh, you mean if we were going to include everybody? Yeah. That's that. Me and Kevin were talking about that. I'm like, can we put any Dio albums on there? And he's like, nah, that's all.
I actually like the Tony Martin
It's
stuff
growing in
too.
there at least.
Yeah, there's a lot of good.
I
shit,
love
man.
the Tony Martin stuff.
There's a lot of
The
good
Shining.
stuff.
The shot, yeah. Headless Cross and Eternal Idol, and those albums are great.
I think I saw them on Eternal Idol. I think it was Ray Gillen was singing.
It
Oh,
was,
really?
yeah, it was, yeah.
Yeah, and Wasp was the opening act. It was on Last
Wow.
Command, 86, the Spectrum, and that
Yeah.
was Eric Singer was on drums. Actually, I think.
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's
that was a
crazy.
good show.
Mike D, you also have Paranoid at number 1.
Yeah, this is me and Damien's fault here. But I mean, I usually don't put their like somebody's heavy hit album as number 1. But I think, if you're going and somebody doesn't know anything about Black Sabbath and you're like, what do you listen to? You probably point them in the direction of Paranoid.
I agree with that.
So,
yeah.
and I'm I love War Pigs. That's probably one of my favorite songs by them. Probably because of Faith No More, but
Right.
Oh yeah, that's right. They did that cover.
that's what kind
Good
of,
cover. Yeah.
when I started recognizing Black Sabbath a little bit.
And you went back. Yeah, you
That's-
kind of backtracked.
Right.
Yeah. Paranoid, man. Great record. I had it at number 2. It all comes down to songs, and it's just song after song after song. Great songs. And even like Hand of Doom. I love Hand of Doom. I think that's a great song. But the whole record,
Fairies Wear Boots. Great
Fairies
song.
Wear Boots is a great song. I mean, yeah. I would think, I always say Kiss is my favorite band of all time. That's the first band I remember really loving. So Kiss is my favorite band of all time. And then, anything after that, it's interchangeable. I got my Iron Maidens, my Danzigs, I like all that stuff, Typo Negative. But I think my honest to true God second favorite band is probably Sabbath. So yeah, it's
Well, yeah,
crazy.
they have a great body of work.
Yeah.
It's not like 6 or 7, good albums. There's a lot of stuff. Even when you get into the Dio stuff and the other singers, there's a lot of really good albums. They have a great body of work.
Yep. And even you were talking about the Dio stuff. You know what my favorite Dio record with them guys is? You're gonna laugh. I love the Heaven and Hell Band. I love
That's
that
a great record.
I love.
I like that
record.
better than 13. I
Oh
like that.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's got Adam and Evil on it. It's got Eating the Cannibals. What a great song. I mean, that whole record is so, like, I wish they had time to do another one. And that's how good that record was. I love that record. I guess all
it's been a while. I got to
the
break it
Yeah.
out. It's been a while.
it's so good, man. And it was like the best mix of Dio with Sabbath. I mean, even though that's what it is, but it reminded me of some of Dio's solo stuff, but with that Sabbath sound, more than Dehumanizer and but yeah, I mean, if we had to rank the Dio Sabbath stuff, they're all good. There's not a bad one. In there. There's really not a bad one in there. All right, guys. So we're talking to the Land of Oz. We got Tom. We got Kevin. Steve couldn't make it tonight. He tried, but he had some technical difficulties. So I want you guys definitely try and go see them. They're playing at the Landis Theater February 5th. Violent.
So Steve has been texting me this whole time while we've been on. He's like super frustrated. He can't get on. He's like, make sure you give away a pair of tickets. So what he wanted me to do is, I don't know how we're going to do this since you aren't live, but he wanted to give away a free pair of tickets to one of your viewers. I don't know if you can determine, like, you got a regular, viewers on YouTube or whatever. But Steve's offering up a pair of tickets for the Landis Theater. He's also offering up a free pair of tickets for our other show at the Landis, which would be the
Live Evil,
the Ultimate Live Evil show, and that is on March 12th. March 12th, and we'll be playing with a Judas Priest tribute band, and the name escapes me, Victim of Vengeance, I believe, and an Iron Maiden tribute band called Ancient Mariners.
I know them guys. Yeah, I know them guys.
So 2 free tickets to the Land of Oz show and 2 free tickets to the Ultimate Live Evil metal show.
Yeah, we'll
you can't find anybody to give them away, they're yours.
Yeah, we'll post it up and we'll just tell them to hit you guys up. Tell them you listen to Mixtapes and Tasty Cakes. First 2 people to hit you up, get the tickets.
We could do a post or something. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll do a post. We'll definitely do a post.
Awesome.
Okay, guys, before we wrap up here, I got 7 questions I want to ask you. And just, off the cuff, don't think too hard. They're going to be nice and silly. So
7 stupid questions.
7 stupid questions. So we've all done this already. So it's just going to be you 2 guys we're going to ask. Okay, so here we go. Kev, if you were a cartoon character, who would you be?
Batman. Come on.
Batman.
Who else? The guy wears black.
Tom, how about you?
Oh my God, that's a tough one, man. Wow, cartoon character. I don't know, man. I'm just gonna throw out Bugs Bunny because he was a wise ass.
Here you go. Here you go. Okay, I'm gonna read this next question carefully. I'm gonna start with you, Kev. Would you rather eat chocolate that tastes like shit, or would you rather eat shit that tastes like chocolate?
Oh, damn. That's a no-brainer. I'll take the chocolate that tastes like shit. There's no way I'm eating shit. I don't
No.
care if it tastes like chocolate.
How about you, Tom?
You can gold plate a turd, but it's still a turd underneath. So yeah, I'll eat the shitty tasting chocolate. I've had a lot of shitty tasting chocolate, so that's a no-brainer. That's easy. Yeah.
Damo almost went the other way when we asked him this question, just for the record.
I don't think he backtracked either.
I don't think he did. He's like, fuck it. Well, I don't know what it tastes like. Maybe it's good.
Well, it tastes like chocolate.
You know what? That might have been after.
It's just a bit of
after I
corn
had-
you got to get over.
After I had COVID and I lost my sense of taste or something.
That might have been the perfect time.
That's the best time to do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Kev, I'm going to start with you. Your favorite live album of all time?
That's a tough one, man. You know how I am with number ones. I got to go with 1 and 1A. Judas Priest, Unleashed in the East, and Kiss Alive. It's almost impossible to distinguish between the two. Both albums, every song sounds great. Yeah, we both know that both albums had some studio adjustments, but I don't care. It still sounds great. So,
How about you, Tom?
All right, so Kevin gave you 2, so I'm going to give you A, B, and C. Kiss Alive is number 1. Cheap Trick at Budokan is number 2. And If You Want Blood, You Got It from AC/DC is probably number
that's a
3.
good one.
But there's so many, dude. I mean, Humble Pie live at Fillmore, Frampton Comes Alive, UFO, Strangers in the Night. I mean, there's.
I was going to say that, yeah.
Yeah, the Priest record. I mean, Angel live without a net. I mean, there's all kinds of obscure shit too that I love, but it's just, Kiss Alive to me is the Bible right there. That's
great.
it.
It's a great record.
Yeah.
All right, Kev. So what celebrity do you think you look like or been told that you look like?
Ace Frehley. I get it a lot.
That's a good one. How about you, Tom?
Somebody thought you looked like Ozzy the other night at Wawa, dude.
I get that too.
Yeah.
I've been to concerts and people walk up to me and go, "Are you him?" And I'm like, "Who?" "I know you're him." I'm like, "Yeah, okay, I'm not. I don't know who you think I am, but no, come on, Ace."
Come on, Ace. I would have been like, it'd been Curly, $30 for the autograph. I would have been collecting $30.
I don't know what Damien's answer was.
Who, Damien?
Yeah, Jizzy Pearl.
That's a good one, Dame. That's a good one.
Oh, I get that a lot, especially down at M3. Oh yeah.
Are you him?
Are you him?
Yeah. Yeah. I used it to my advantage one time. We went to the bar where the everybody hangs out afterwards, and it's like that place Clyde's, where they have it's like a restaurant bar, and they had tables reserved. And some of my friends that I was with, they're like, "Oh man, I wish we could get a table." And Quiet Riot played that weekend when he was singing with them. So I went up to the hostess and I was like, "Look, I don't want to make a big deal out of this or anything, but you think, we just played at M3 tonight, and you think you could hook up me and my friends with a table?" And she was like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry." She gave us a table.
I'm sorry, Mr. Pearl.
Table.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Mr. Pearl.
Would you just like to be called Jizzy?
People were like, "Hey, Jizzy, can I have your, can we take a picture?" I was like, "I'm not Jizzy Pearl." I was like, "Come on, that's what they all say." I was like, I'm really not. I swear to God, I'm not. And then after a while, I was like, "Okay, yeah, we'll just take a photo."
Yeah, just go along with it.
That's funny.
If I was one of your friends, I'd be like, "All right, Jizz, we're going to be over here."
Play right into it. How about you, Tom?
Well, back in the day when I had the long, big 80s metal hair, blonde, I used to get told I looked like Steven Adler back then.
Oh, okay, I can see that. Yeah,
same kind of hair, Now I get told I look like, when I don't have this hat on and my hair's all out, I get told I look like that dude that does the car rehab show. He does the Ric Flair. He always goes, "Woo!" Is it Richard? Was it Richard Rawlings or something? What's the guy's name? It's like Grease Monkey or one of those.
Yeah. I could see that.
Yeah. I get told I look like him. It's weird. Yeah.
It's good stuff.
Nobody knows who he is, so it's great. I never get harassed for autographs or anything.
I used to watch that show a lot.
Yeah.
I usually get I would get the Evan Seinfeld a lot. I would get that when I used to wear a headband or something. I would get that. I'm like, I'm a lot short. I got a picture with him, and I'm a lot shorter than he is. And I thought he was short.
I don't know. Didn't your family think you were some kind of a character in some cartoon show or something?
Who, me? Oh,
yeah.
One of my buddies watching. One of my buddies, I can't even say it. One of my buddies was watching TV with his kids, and they were watching so bad. They were watching. You got to look it up. They were watching a show. So Jason and the Pirates or something. The Pirates on Nickelodeon. Something in the Pirates. Jake and the Pirates. And dude,
that's it. Jake and the Pirates.
If you guys could look this up, you're going to piss yourself. They have like a theme song from there. And dude, man, it looks like me. It's so fucking fucked up. It's
Jake
bad. Not in a good way.
Wait.
He's on the computer. Damien's fingers are typing away.
I'm
Right?
looking.
Oh, it's
it's the live action video.
Wait, what?
You got to see
Jake
it, Tom. It's ridiculous.
I don't even see it.
And the guy's singing, which is even worse.
Oh, really?
Oh, fucking awful. It's Bert the Lady.
Jake and the Neverland Pirates pirate band. It's called
Jake and the Neverland Pirates. I'm gonna totally.
Is it Nickelodeon, like recent Nickelodeon, or like old school Nickelodeon?
A couple years.
Looks new.
Okay.
Yeah, it's newer for us, probably.
This is about 10 years on YouTube.
Well, you'll have to put a clip up.
Yeah, I'll
when you
definitely put a
edit all
clip up.
this.
It's so ridiculous, but yeah, they were like, Uncle Bert's on TV. I'm like, what the fuck? Listen, if I could use it to my advantage to get people to come see us, I'll use it. I have no problem.
You got to dress like the pirate, though. I mean, come on, you got to do
A
it.
little chubby guy fucking dancing around to a pirate song.
Oh, wait. I see you're talking about.
How bad is that? Dame's fucked up.
It's pretty spot on. He's got the little goatee thing and everything.
Yeah, these guys got
Holy
to find
shit.
it. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, he's a short guy.
Round. Robust.
That is funny. Yeah.
Okay, moving on. All right, Kev, I'm going to start with you. Most overrated rock band in your opinion?
Overrated. Oh boy, the Grateful Dead.
Ooh, yeah, great album covers, but I agree.
They're awful. I'd rather slit my wrists.
Tom?
Man, where do I start? I don't know. Probably the Red Hot Chili Peppers for me. Yeah.
They were great at one time. Then I don't know what the fuck happened.
They have
I don't
a
know.
small window, but they're still popular somehow. I don't know.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah,
I don't know.
huge.
I mean, I could say anything that's come out in the last 20 years and be a real asshole, but I mean, it's tough. I mean, like I'd have to really sit down and think on that one, but that just comes to mind right off the top of my head.
I think that might have been my
Let's
pick
go.
when we did these questions. I think.
I think it was, Mike.
Oh,
I
yeah?
think it was your pick. I think it was. Yeah, because Mike used to love them, and then he was like, what the fuck? Everything
How about
sounds the same.
Coldplay?
Oh.
Coldplay is another one.
Oh,
Oh,
I think
the
their
Foo
5
Fighters.
minutes are over, right? I would think so at this point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
I think that Super Bowl halftime sealed the deal for them. That was it. It was like,
yes.
boring.
I don't
Fuck it. I tried to listen to them. It's just too boring for me, man.
Yeah, it's a
well,
snooze
it's
fest.
funny. I like early Radiohead. I like U2. I like stuff that you would think I would like Coldplay because of this other stuff that I like.
Right.
And there's a couple Coldplay songs I heard, on the first couple of albums, like, all right. But I just feel like when a band gets like elevated to like genius status by the media and stuff, I'm just like, I'm not feeling that.
Mhm.
I think they're okay, but like I feel like overrated is exactly what I feel.
Right.
Right.
And I'm
Whatever.
not a fan of Radiohead, but I get it. Musician wise, I get why people like Radiohead. They have a lot of off time stuff, a lot of 7-time things, and drummer wise, I totally understand it.
Well, for me, Radiohead it's the their second album, which was called The Bends,
Mhm.
which was before they got all like really arty and like kind of like experimental. It's just a heavy guitar driven like 90s rock record. And that's like my favorite record from them. That doesn't sound like any of their other stuff. And that's like the album that kind of like elevated them, you know.
Yeah.
And then OK Computer after that was another one that was got more proggy and kind of weird, which I like that record too. But after that, they lost.
That was really good.
Yeah, Mike, you're a Radiohead guy, right?
I have a small window. I mean, I don't hate them, but I probably like OK Computer. I like Kid A. Amnesiac was good.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. The early stuff was kind of little. I like Creep. I gotta listen to it again.
Yeah, it's not my cup of tea, but it's definitely a musician band. Like I could listen to them and go, I get it. You know, they're neat. They're
like I looked
neat.
at them, they were kind of like when they came out to me, they were kind of like a fucking whiny band. You know?
Right. Yeah.
But
shoegaze.
I mean, they had some good songs.
They still, they do have some good songs. They do. Kev, what food do you refuse to eat?
Oh God. Sushi.
Wouldn't try it at all? No.
Raw fish. Come on. I mean,
It's better than you think.
It is better than you think.
I
Like
love it.
spicy tuna roll.
Mhm.
That's good.
Oh, I could go for it right now.
raw fish. Come on. Raw fish.
You got to get the stuff that's deep fried. You got to get the fake neon stuff.
I don't even like cooked fish. Why would I want to eat raw fish?
There you go.
Nothing from the sea for Kev. That's it.
Yeah.
Tom, how about you?
I'm not a-
I love seafood, but that's probably why I like sushi. The answer for me, and it's been this way since I was probably about 7 or 8 years old, and I know I'm going to get shit for this, but it's red sauce, gravy, whatever you want to call it, tomato
Really?
sauce.
Wow.
Wow.
I had some bad experiences with some school lunches in public school as a kid in grade school. Like the ravioli and the red sauce
Killed
smelled
it for
so
you?
bad. I mean, it was like borderline like beefaroni. You know what I mean?
Oh,
I'm just like, and ever since then, the smell, I can eat pizza with a little bit of it on there.
Yeah.
But if I'm eating pasta, it's got to be like garlic and oil and Parmesan.
That's all right. Yeah, I always
Or
did.
like,
Yeah.
or like white sauce, clams, mussels, whatever.
Mhm.
But red sauce to me, it's out. I just forget it. Grosses
Wow.
me out. Dude. Yeah,
Wow.
I know. I make a shitty Italian.
I got a guy that lives across the street from me. Don't eat pizza. I can't believe it. I'm like, what do you mean?
Wow.
what?
I'm like, what? I never heard that before. You know?
He doesn't like it or what?
Don't like it. I don't know why.
Man.
It's crazy.
Wow. That is crazy.
All right, guys. Last question for you. Ramones or Misfits, Kev?
Ramones. I mean, number one, they started a whole new genre of music. Number two, they all wear leather jackets. Number three, they all look cool. Number four, I never really got into the Misfits. I don't even know any of their songs, so they're not even on my radar.
Wow. How about you,
But
Tom?
I will say
Oops,
this:
sorry.
there would be no Misfits if there was no Ramones.
Good point. Good point. Tom?
Wow. For me, punk, it's the Pistols, the Jam, and the Clash. But if I got to pick between Ramones and Misfits, it's the Ramones.
Wow.
I'm not familiar with the Misfits stuff either. Honestly, I never really did a dive into them at all. And even the Ramones, I've just dabbled in. You know, I mean, I have a few of their CDs, and I know like the probably 10 or 15 songs. But I was always into I liked the heavier, like the more like the Pistols, and like I like the Jam, the Clash. There was just a different
British stuff.
know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. For me, that just connected with me more than the Ramones did.
Yeah. It was
But I don't
definitely different,
dislike.
that
Yeah, I don't
stuff.
dislike the Ramones, but I just was never. They weren't in my top 5 punk bands, if you want to, go there. But yeah, so that's it. Ramones.
Wow, there you have it. I would definitely get outvoted on this show with my pick.
What you got? You Misfits guy?
Totally Misfits guy. Yeah, totally
Yeah?
Misfits guy. I tried the Ramones. It's like I want to like the Ramones more than I do. I don't know why. I
Well,
can't
listen,
figure it out.
the Ramones are like the Beach Boys played through Marshall amps.
Yeah.
You know
There
what I
you
mean?
go.
And the
So-
records sound a lot better than the Misfits records.
That I
Like, I
never
wish the
even-
Misfits could
They do.
re-record everything.
I never even
Mhm.
heard of the Misfits until Metallica started covering their songs. I'm like, wait,
Yeah, a
who's
lot of people.
Yeah. I think Metallica definitely brought them up to that,
Yeah.
to the level. They would wear the t-shirts and all
Oh,
that stuff.
absolutely. Yeah.
But
Al, did you-
what's up?
Did you see them on the reunion?
I didn't. I missed it. I wish I went.
I saw them. It was one of the best shows I've ever been to. They were great.
Wow. Cool.
Saw them at the Garden. It was amazing. Sold out.
Yeah. That's cool. Nice.
All right, guys. So Land of Oz, February 5th, the Landis Theater, Violin, New Jersey. February 5th. If you guys want tickets, or you got 2 tickets for free, if you guys want them, just hit up Land of Oz on Facebook. Tell them you were listening to Mixtapes and Tasty Cakes. Request your tickets, and also different winner if we could, for the Dio show, March 12th. And where's that going to be, Kev?
Landis Theater.
Oh, same
March
spot.
12th.
Awesome. So, guys, we're going to wrap up here for this week. Thank you guys for coming on.
Thanks for
Thanks,
having us.
guys.
Oh,
Yeah, thanks for
anytime, man.
coming.
Next time, hopefully we
Fun.
get Steve. Steve is a ball of fire. Definitely worth seeing. Definitely worth seeing. He does a great Ozzy. He pulls it
Yeah.
off. He definitely pulls it off. All right, guys.
That's
Next
best
time
I've
we'll rank the
seen.
Dios.
Yeah, man.
We'll
Oh, he
rank
does
the
the
Dio
Dio
albums
too.
next.
Yeah, we're gonna
Yeah.
we have to bring him over for ranking the Dio. We're gonna have to
Yeah.
get Steve set up like a couple days ahead of time. Maybe.
We'll do a test run with them.
I just wish we had a microphone in that room that he was in when he was trying to figure it out. That's all I wish. That
Oh
would have
my
been
God. I won't imagine.
Talk about a hot mic. Oh my God.
great.
That would go viral on YouTube like immediately.
It would be awesome. Steve, I would whore that off as much as possible. I would be using it for every clip I could.
That would be our intro tape at the Landis Theater. It's him flipping the fuck out for 10 minutes.
Oh my God.
Definitely worth it. So, Steve, we're thinking of you, buddy. All right, guys. Thank you, guys. Mixtapes and Tasty Cakes. We'll see you next week.